Hi, my name is Billy D'Addario, and it's spring, and it's way past time when most people do their New Year's resolutions and set their goals and things like that. But I always do my New Year's resolution and set my goals in the springtime because, well, that's when new life begins, and I feel like that's a better time. It's a better time for me to set my new goals. And in this middle of winter, it's just too much for me to handle to set new goals. So I always do it in the springtime. I'm a strange duck, I guess. But so I like to set my goals in the middle of winter or in the springtime. So I'm going to talk today about setting new goals, and I'm going to kind of catch you up on where my goals are. I set my new goals in March. And so we're now in June. And so I'm going to tell you what my goals were, and then we'll talk about how 16 ways to 16 things to think about when you're setting goals. And I know we're talking about the middle of the year, so it's time to reevaluate your goals, see where you are, and maybe change your goals if you need to, or make new plans for your goals or whatever. So anyway, my writing goals for 2021 are to write 4 books and get one of them published. So that's gone really well. My first novel hopefully will come out in spring of 2022. The writing is finished. It'll go to the editor on June 1st. So that was yesterday, because this video will come out June 2nd. So the editor will get my novel on June 1st, which is yesterday. So that has gone really well. I'm writing my second novel, and that's going pretty well. I had some hiccups at first, and I had to restart and totally do the different story because my first story wasn't working out well. There wasn't enough meat there to do what I needed to do, and the subplot was taking over the plot of the story, and anyway, it just wasn't working out. My business goals for 2021 are to earn $500 a month. That's my husband in the background. So just ignore him. And that hasn't been going so well because there were too many things that I couldn't control, that I can't control, and I didn't make my path clear enough, my goals clear enough and measurable enough, and so things didn't go like they were supposed to go. So I need to adjust those. So I've adjusted those I'm doing three YouTube videos and three blog posts every week, and that's been done consistently since April. But my Facebook and my Instagram accounts are just a mess, and I just don't know. I'm not sure what to do with them, but I need to do something more consistently than I am. I need to do something with them every single day, and I just don't know. I don't live an interesting life. So things just don't, they're not going to turn out like I want them to. I'm on track to finish my books, and so we already talked about that. So setting goals for me helps me not only stay on track, but it keeps me focused on the present and on the future. I have a tendency to ruminate on the past, and when I ruminate on the past, that causes me to feel depressed. And so by setting goals and working toward those goals, it makes me feel like I'm achieving things and like I'm useful and things like that. So for me, it's pretty important that I have goals and things like that. So let's get into my 16 things to think about when you're setting goals. The first thing is you need to set yearly goals, and then from those yearly goals you make monthly goals, and then based on your monthly goals you can set weekly goals, and from your weekly goals you set your daily goals, and all of those goals need to be focused on whatever big picture thing that is that you want to accomplish. For example, I want to publish 4 books, or I want to write 4 books. I can't say that I want to publish 4 books because there are things that are out of my control. And one of those things are finances. It's very expensive to self-publish a book. And frankly, I don't know that we will have the finances to publish 4 books in a year. It's something that I'd like to do, but we'll just have to see if we can do that. We think that we can do 1 book, and then we'll just have to see if we can do any more than that. But I do know that if I write 4 books, and we can, I do know that it's in my control to write 4 books, and if I have them ready to be edited and published, that's the goal. Okay, you need to set SMART goals. And SMART goals are they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So having goals that are specific, I want to write 4 books by May of 2022. So if I just said I want to someday to write a book, that's just too vague, and you'll never settle down and get it written. It's just too vague, and you'll never be a writer if you do it that way. It needs to be achievable. I'm a full-time writer. That's what I do all day long. I spend as much time as I possibly can writing. I have chronic pain issues because I had some back surgery that was not successful. And so there are some days that I can't write at all, and then there are other days when I can write 6 or 8 hours. I usually write lying down because my back pain is such that sitting up is excruciatingly painful for me. Writing so it depends on the day how much writing I can get done. But I think I can get 4 books done. I think that's an achievable goal for me in a year. Writing a book a month is a book every 6 weeks or so, between a month and 6 weeks, is, I think, an achievable goal. That's 50,000 words every 6 weeks, and I write about 1,500 words a day. So I think I can do that. Your goal needs to be realistic. Is it realistic that I can do that? Yes, it is. And it needs to be time-based. Every 6 weeks I need to write a book. So yes, it is time-based. So there you have it. That was number 2. Number 3. You need to get a journal or a day timer, or use your Outlook or whatever, and you need to track your time on a daily basis. You need to block out the time that you're using for your writing. You need to write down. You need a journal so that way you can write down what your goals are, and the steps that you're going to take to meet your goals. And then you need to get a day timer or use your Outlook in your computer or whatever, and mark off the time that you're going to do the things that you're going to do. So if you're using writing, you need to mark off your time and say, from this time to this time I'm going to write. From this time to this time I'm going to use that as my social media time, and I'm going to do a post or do all my social media posts, things like that. you need to be accountable and answerable for your goals. So you need to be answerable to yourself, of course, but it makes it easier also if you can find an accountability partner, somebody that you meet with on a weekly basis, just for a few minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and talk to them about your goals and whether you achieve them or not, what complications you had in achieving your goals, what you can do to overcome those obstacles that you may have had during the week, so that way you're more likely to achieve those goals, and somebody to celebrate with when you do achieve your goals. It just makes, when you have an accountability partner, somebody to celebrate with, it just makes achieving your goals that much sweeter. Number 5, you want to journal about and be clear about why it is you want to reach your goals. So that way you're not disappointed when you reach your goals. You know, I want to be a writer because I want to use my creative skills, and I want to use my brain power. I don't want to use I'm not doing this to become wealthy or to become famous, because those two things rarely happen to writers. There was a time when, that may happen, but it probably won't. So I was very clear with the reason that I'm doing this, and it's not to become rich, and it's not to become well known. And I'm very clear on that, so that way I'm not going to be disappointed when becoming rich and becoming well known doesn't happen. I would be really disappointed if I worked that hard and then didn't get something that doesn't happen. So I'm clear on the reason that I work hard. I work hard because I want to use my brain power, and I want to use my creativity, and I want to, share my creativity with others. I want to make their days happier. I want people to read my stories, to really enjoy them and really get a kick out of what I write. You need to spend time and figure out where you want to be in 6 months and a year from when you set your goals. So that way a year from when I set my goals, I want to have published my first novel. When your goal is a stretch goal after you work hard for it, don't forget to schedule a recovery goal. And that's a goal that is just slightly less strenuous, less demanding than your maintenance goal. You need to take a rest and let yourself recover, so that way you don't get burned out. So that way you have time to fill your well of creativity, your well of energy, so that way you can start again. Number 8, when you set a series of goals, set broad goals first, then specific goals. Number 9, set goals you can control. In publishing, there are lots of goals that you can't control. So you need to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and setting goals that you can control. Like, I can't control how many subscribers that I get on YouTube, but I can control, that the quality is the best that the quality of my videos are the best that they can be, and that I'm consistently setting up videos, YouTube videos. Okay? I can't control, one of the reasons that I'm self-publishing my books is that I couldn't control whether I got an agent or not that could sell, and I couldn't control whether that agent could sell my book to a publishing company. So I decided that was too many things that I couldn't control, and so I decided to self-publish, because I could control my writing schedule. I could control the editing to a certain extent. You know, I could control the marketing to a certain extent. So having more control over it meant that the success or failure was more in my control, for better or worse. When you set your goals, break them into smaller goals, so that way you can achieve them. We already kind of talked about that, but you know, you set your big goal, and then you set monthly goals and weekly goals and daily goals, and then you kind of just bite at it a little at a time until you achieve your yearly goal, and then your main objective. Use time blocks when you're working. So block out a large block of time to do your writing, and then another block of time to do your social media or your business, your writing business things. You use the Pomodoro method when you're writing, and what you do there is you set a timer for 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break, and then you start all over again. You do that 4 times in a row, 4 25-minute writing sessions, and then you take a longer break, and then you start over again. Number 13, expect the unexpected. So no matter how well you plan, no matter how consistent you are, no matter how self-disciplined you are, things will come up that you can't count on. For me, there will be days that I absolutely can't write because I'm in just too much pain. There will be days that there might be a couple days in a row where I can't write because the pain is just too much. And that's just how it is. Common wisdom says to write anyway. And I try that sometimes. But to be honest with you, pain is one of those things that affects your brain. And for me, it affects the part of my brain that deals with language. So it is better for me not to write. So I do other things. I do a different part of my writing process. I do things like I read. I watch other YouTubers who deal with writing. I watch Jenna Moresi. I watch Alexa Dunn. They are really good YouTubers who have a lot to say about writing and the writing process. So they're like teachers. They're unknown mentors to me. They don't know they're mentors, but I use them as mentors. Number 14, some days I write anyway if I can. When things are bad, I write anyway. If I'm having just a bad day, the washing machine doesn't work, or, weird stuff has happening with the computer or whatever, I write anyway. Check in with yourself every 3 months to make sure you're on track. And if you're not on track, make adjustments so that way when the end of the year comes, you've achieved your goal. That's important. And if you need to write more words, or write more chapters, or whatever it is that you need to do in months 3 to 6 or months 6 to 9, you can do that. So that way, come month 12, you've hit your target. And lastly, and this is the most important tip of all, dream big. You can have big dreams. It's just important that when you dream big, that you figure out a way to make your goals achievable. So make your dream as big as you want, just make your goals to reach that dream achievable. And it may mean that you won't achieve your big dream in, it may take 2 or 3 years to achieve your big dream. But it may take me more than 1 year to publish 4 novels, but that's okay if it takes more than 1 year. So dream big and enjoy the ride. I hope you make your every dream come true. Thank you for spending time with me. Share your dreams in the comments box below. Hit the like button. Share this with somebody you love. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy your afternoon and keep writing. Thanks.